where we can develop leads and move the case forward. And we talked about that. It boils down to Mike King from Pinellas County brought this up. He said, I've got a 50-man crime scene unit. And to me, this is really no big deal. We can come in and handle this. But the problem exists when you have that sheriff or police department doesn't have that. They don't have the benefit of those resources. So then they have to take that little animal that lives on everybody's shoulders, called ego, put him to the side, and they've got to say, help. And I think at lunch, the most thing I appreciated today at lunch was this sheriff coming up here and saying that same thing. There are times when we've got to do what's good for the good of the order and holler for help. Mike brought that up. And in this case, if you did not have the resources to properly apply in this case, then you need to get it. Because if you don't, it's not going to be done right. We talked about that. So we need the resources available, and we needed to approach the investigation in a meaningful way. We had a prosecutor in our room, and that's another component we've got to understand and remember, that in cases up front, there's great benefit to involving the district attorney, from something as simple as an ex parte order to advice on a search warrant. That's important. But essentially, and I pulled this up just to kind of show you what we talked about. The central clearinghouse for all information in a case, and this says case agent. It can be chief investigator, chief of detectives, whatever. But there needs to be one investigating officer that's the central clearinghouse for all information. Some things need to happen simultaneously. You get the resources, and you see on this scale, you see three lines coming out. You see the crime scene specialists, the forensic people. You see the specialists, that's the technologies people, and I'll talk about them in a minute. And you see the investigative teams, that's the multiple fact-finding capsules that are going to go out and find out the information and come back. They're going to be the ones with the subject assignments, everything from the neighborhood canvas, victimology, you name it. And they're going to bring that information back into that central briefing and bring it up among the whole student body. Now, the specialist is there for the computer examinations of those hard drives, cell phone, anything from cell phone tracking to cell phone records. The crime scene specialist, central to that effort, is first and foremost an inventory. What is there? What type of remarkable issues are there? We've got blood on the floor. We've got the door kicked in. Have we developed a theory based on the totality of the facts and circumstances thus far? The connection to any physical evidence afoot. If we've got all these officers going to interview people, we need to know when we ask for consent, if we're looking for a 9mm, if there's a 9mm shell, or if we're looking for a red fiber off a sweater that may be near that blood stain. We need to involve the forensic people up front, the crime lab. We need to talk to the crime lab. Oftentimes, we don't talk enough to our crime labs, and when they get these pieces of physical evidence, it's just another sweater. Where if they're briefed and they know what's going on, that passion that's so desperately needed to work these cases comes to front. The medical examiner, it is critical that the medical examiner knows what we know at every scene. That's why you see that line come down, because that information must be there.